Folders are great, but fixed blades are better. Welcome back, everyone. This is Bevan with Tried and True EDC, and today I'm going to be talking about 10 of the best American-made EDC fixed blades from my collection, and also touch on why I think a fixed blade is better than a folding knife, just to clarify. And when we think about it, a folding knife dates back to between 600 to 500 BC, the very first folding knife. However, fixed blades have been around for 2.6 million years. There's a reason why. Obviously there were some components that wasn't thought of back then, and as we evolved in craftsmanship and blacksmithing, we were able to create folding knives for ease of carry. I think that's one of the biggest points about a folding knife. However, with fixed blades, there's so much simplicity behind it and functionality that it remains one of the most used tools in our community. All right. So I'll just jump right in. I've kind of outlined these and laid them out by alphabetical order of the maker or custom knife maker or the brand, and then I'll just go through each one. All right, so the first one we got is the Tang SAF. For me, this is more of a self-defense knife. It does have 3V for the steel. However, it is still very functional in terms of everyday tasks. Right? The blade length isn't, what I prefer a fixed blade length to be 3.75 inches or under. Maybe sometimes I'll go to a 4, but for something I like to carry inside the waistband or somewhere where it's not just popping out or sticking out from your belt. This one did come with a Kydex sheath. It has, the retention is not very strong, but it makes it easy to draw. I have added a discreet carry concepts deep carry clip that goes right on your belt. Well, it's not really a deep carry clip, excuse me, but this wraps around your belt and just locks in. So I do carry this inside the waistband, and it's kind of cantered where the blade is forward, facing out. And usually, if depending on the application, I have not yet to use this for self-defense, and I hope I don't ever have to. But if I did, it would be able to draw and pop it out in a reverse grip. If I want to use it for other applications, I would just grab it from here. As I extract it, just turn it around and get right to using it. Tang is a custom knife maker from San Jose, California. And his knives got on my radar from my buddy Seth. So I actually bought this off of him. It's got an OD green cord wrapped handle, black and OD green, as you can see. And these aren't readily available from what I know. However, these range around the $400 range, depending on the grind and the different materials it may use. They're usually just all cord wrapped, so handle-wise, there's nothing too different other than the color. But yeah, this is a great one. It's super slicey. One of Tang's mottos is that his knives are stupid sharp. I have actually a collection video on just his knives, and so you can take a look at that one if you want a little more detail, a little more information. But it's so clean. It's got his logo etched into the blade. Excellent. The air grooves are really nice. This kind of locks in your hand right here, the little hook towards the butt of the knife. It's excellent carry. And you'll notice on a lot of these, I only have one Chicago screw holding the clip. So that way, as I put it inside the waistband, I can kind of tilt it to make sure it's more comfortable as I'm wearing it. Yeah, this is the Tang SAF. Next on the list, we have the Bawidamann Muninn slicer. This is a Monkey Edge exclusive. I paid, let me just double check real quick. I paid, it was $285 before tax. I think it was shipping actually. So Monkey Edge actually doesn't charge tax at least for California residents. But this came with the whole setup. So it came with the Kydex sheath, came with a discrete carry concepts clip, and it's locked in with 2 Chicago screws. So this doesn't have much room for wiggle. Now I could adjust that if I wanted to, but I've left it as is. For this one, it's still inside the waistband, but instead of knife facing forward, it's facing backward. So it sits more vertical on my belt or on my waist. That beautiful, beautiful blade. This is also in 3V. I don't know what it is about 3V and fixed blades. I have quite a few of them in my collection. Let's give you a close up. Handles are very comfortable. And I have this noted as carbon fiber for the handle. And it's, yeah, I would say so. It's smooth, very smooth carbon fiber, and it's not what you would typically see as a carbon fiber designed handle. It's very comfortable in hand. The finger grooves are large enough for 2 fingers, so it really locks in right there, and the jimping helps. Been really enjoying this one. I rotate, as you can see, quite a few knives in my collection, so I do rotate them out as often as I can. And really, the fixed blades for me is just, it's easier to clean. That's one of the big things about it. Outside of the fact that you don't have to ever risk lock failure on a folding knife, these just, you use it, wipe it off, put it back in your sheath, and that's it. I mean, yeah, a folding knife, the thing about a folding knife is if you could do, let's say for instance, food prep, there's a lot of debris that can get in the pivot that can create actions that's super stiff, and it just, there's more maintenance needed to keep up with a folding knife rather than a fixed blade. Fixed blades are just, it's such a simplistic design, but it works very well. And again, these date back millions of years. So it's always been a staple in terms of a tool in our tool bag. The Bawidamann Muninn slicer. All right. So this one is Boatright Bladeworks. This is the Moraine-M. And Boatright Bladeworks was, well, Chase Boatright is the custom knife maker. And I found it just really shopping online. I mean, really, that's one of the ways I typically end up buying knives, is just trying things out. So this one does have a micarta handle right here. And the steel on this one is Nitro V. Very clean, completely sterile blade. Very comfortable, which is one thing I want to praise Chase for. He does make a very comfortable handle. For me, ergonomics on any knife, whether it be a folding knife or a fixed blade, the ergonomics needs to be there. Especially, I mean, depending on the application. If it's a quick use, not as much. It's not as important. However, once you go into long-term use for any knife, how comfortable it is the hand matters a lot more. It's got a hologram on it, as you can see. And I met Chase at Blade, Texas. You can see his Boatright on the spine right here, back of the handle. He's a super pleasant guy. He gave me the time of day to be able to do a interview with him, so I really enjoyed it and really appreciated that. I also have another one in my collection. It's called Potami, and that one, it's a larger fixed blade. But what I wanted to showcase are EDC fixed blades. Right? Things that are ones that are within a certain blade length and overall length, what makes it a little more simpler to carry for everyday use. So yeah, this is a Moraine-M. This one I paid $270 after tax, so it was $260 is the table price, retail price. Very comfortable. I also have this, so the blade faces forward. It came with the the sheath, and it came with a strap rather than the clip that I replaced it with. So you'll see a lot of mine either has the all-tie clip or the discrete carry concepts clip. And the thing is, actually, when I got this, the retention on the sheath was very loose. And I hit up Chase, and he was so good, so nice about it. And he was just like, "Hey, send it back. I'll get you a new one." So really appreciate that. That's the type of customer service you look for. And to be honest, that's the type of customer service you're more likely to find from a U.S. knife maker, American made, versus something overseas. Not knocking the customer service overseas, but there's going to be more loopholes to jump through when you're waiting, expecting that type of customer service. And plus, overseas, like if you need to send a knife, it's a lot more expensive, and it's going to take a lot more time. The turnaround time is going to be a lot longer to be able to get your knife back if there are any issues. All right. Next up, so this one is the Bradford Knives Guardian 3.2. I picked this up at Blade Texas in 2025, and it's awesome. I really liked it. As soon as I handled it at the Blade show, it locks in the hand. You do need the finger groove though, because if you don't, that feels silly, right? But so it's an integrated finger choil that it's almost, in a sense, you can almost call it finger groove as well. It's integrated, and I say that because a lot of times finger choils they're worked into the blade. It feels like it's taken away from cutting edge, where this one doesn't feel that way, at least the way it's designed. It does come with a leather sheath, and so this is meant for horizontal carry. I've been doing it as a scout in the back, so interesting enough, I'm right-handed, but I have a canted position so that my left hand draws the blade out, just because the sheath itself is not reversible, so you can't just sheath it this way. It has to be this way. So there's only one way to sheath it. Well, at the risk of cutting the leather or dulling the blade. You can also put this in front, so it then becomes a right-handed draw. The thing is, I've noticed about this one is that for myself, my belt will loop in, and then I have extra length of leather from on the belt, so you can't double loop it. You can only loop it once. I've tried multiple times. It's very difficult. So if you have a belt that fits exactly where the leftover strap is minimal, then this works well in the front. I guess I can always carry on the right side of the buckle on my waist, but so I've been just using this as a scout carry. This one I picked up at Blade, Texas again. I paid, let's see. Wow, that's interesting. I don't have this listed here. I'm sorry, guys. I have everything documented on my on a spreadsheet, but I want to say it was around $300, or maybe like $270 something. I can't. I'm trying to rack my brain, but it was between $250 to $300. And this is in Magna Cut steel, and the HH stands for high hardness. So they brought this between 62 to 63 HRC, and which is great because it's within that sweet spot. When I've done some research recently, 62 to 64 is the optimal HRC for Magna Cut. So they've gotten a little bit increased the hardness on it. It's a really nice little carry. It's got great jimping, very effective, really locks in the hand. And they gave me spanner tools to be able to remove the scales if I wanted. It's got a lanyard hole right there. Full tang design. Most of my fixed blades are full tang design, so I don't think anything here is not. All right, Carothers Performance Knives. This came exactly as is. The sheath, the Kydex sheath with the all-tie clip, both 2 screws, perfectly ready to go. Throw it on your waist, on your waist, on your belt, pants. I've been following Carothers Performance Knives, I want to say 8+ years now, probably longer. And this is another one that was brought to my attention and was put on my radar by my buddy Seth. and I love it. I have quite the collection of Carothers performance knives, and he uses uses a Delta 3V for the steel, so it's a certain heat treat process, from my understanding. They are some of the most sought out knives on blade forums. They hold their value very well. I opted in for the double red micarta scales, full tang design. Yeah. It is such an amazing, the comfortability in hand, just, I can't even describe it. This is one of the most comfortable fixed blades I have ever felt. There's a lot of here. I've done a review on this one recently, and I'll get to that shortly, but this one really takes the cake. So this is the model name for this one is just, let me double check, EDC. So this is a different version. He's got, older versions of the EDC. This might be a newer one. It will definitely is a newer one, but I'm not, I can't quite confirm if the model name changed. I think maybe EDC 1.2. But anyways, this one I paid, $310 before any shipping. So $310 for this. And it's nice because, well, the thing about Carothers performance knives, they're hard to get. He'll do drops every other week on a Friday, 12 p.m. 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and they're usually very limited batches. So 20, 25 knives, sometimes less. He'll do pre-orders every so often as well. I've gotten a few pre-orders from him, and very hard to get. It's gotten slightly easier. I think we're just in times right now, economic times, where you got to just be more considerate about what you're spending your money on. But typically his knives go out really quick. It's all about how fast you can refresh, hit that F5, and then chime in and comment on the thread on Blade Forums to get one. This is something that will never leave my collection, not willingly at least. Super comfortable all the way around. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's an amazing knife. So comfortable in hand. All right, so this one is probably from a more, I mean, this is Chris Reeves right here. Chris Reeves knives. This is the Inyoni with black micarta, full tang design, hollow grind. The steel on this one is Magna Cut. Yes, Magna Cut. It did come with a slim sheath, which I really like. If you listen to the sound of it, it's very subtle. It's got this distinct withdrawal sound as you're withdrawing the knife. It did not come with a clip, so I did add this all-tight clip on here. But I keep trying to put this in the wrong way. This is another one I really like. I usually buy folders from Chris Reeve Knives. I have a bunch of Nkosi's, mostly all large. Nkosi's, Sabenza 31, 121. I have 2 Zons, so very familiar with his folders. But as I got into fixed blades, I was like, oh, I really need to try one of his fixed blades. And he's got some other models that are on my radar. The Backpacker. And what else does he have? He has quite a few other ones, but yeah, really like this. This is very comfortable in hand as well. And I actually brought this on a trip with me to Lake Tahoe, and I was doing just silly things, throwing a knife at the tree, seeing Phil stick. It's got really good balance. It's very light in hand too. So, well, the balance is right about there, but it's comfortable in hand. It's just super lightweight. I also carry this inside the waistband, and it's I throw it in there. But this one, since the clip so the blade is facing backwards, and it's kind of a draw like that. And I use 2 screws on here, so this one I can't swivel, and it's kind of just stuck in there. Inyoni is $275. Picked it up from an online authorized retailer. I don't, it's kind of, I've been seeing these on the secondary market for more. People are catching and releasing these, but then marking it up. My thoughts are, if you're catching and releasing a knife, sell for what you bought for, right? Maybe add on the shipping cost. I'm all about the enjoyment of this hobby. I didn't get in this hobby to buy knives that are rare just so I can resell it at a higher markup. I completely understand if you buy one and you keep it for a long time, and then suddenly financial times hit you hard and you need to make some money. Totally understandable. But anywho, I'm kind of going on a tangent, ranting about non-related things, but yeah, $275 for this. The wait time if you bought directly from CRK is pretty long right now. I believe these might be at least a couple years out, possibly longer. This is an excellent choice for a fixed blade. It's very slim, very, it's kind of almost, there's not too much belly to it in terms of the width of the blade, but it's nice. I've been using this every so often. I enjoy it. All right. REK. Josh from Razor Edge Knives has these fixed blades called Ember. There's 3 different sizes. You have 2.5, the 3.0, and the 3.5. That really just references the blade length. This one I picked up, and these are hard to come by actually. I don't know when was the last time I saw him do another drop on these, but I got this one for $335. It's got the sheep's foot blade to it. As you can see, it's a full flat grind. Jimping on this, phenomenally done. Very comfortable in my hand. You do get a 4-finger grip, full tang. It's got green liners on this particular one. It's got burlap micarta for the scales. And this is another one of my favorites. I've been following Josh for a while, and he was also another one that was turned on to me by my buddy Seth. And I have quite a few of his knives in my collection. I have the Quarantine. I have quite a few Embers. I have 3 2.5s, and I chose to showcase the 3.0. This is the 3.0 because the blade length is a little more versatile. You're getting a little more, taking care of more tasks with this blade length. But I also have another discreet carry concepts clip on here, and this is also with blade forward when I carry it. So I could totally reverse draw this, but I typically just take it out, flip it around, start using it. And if you're not familiar with REK, he changed. It used to just be REK, but now it's REK Knives. I believe when I was reading something, there was something about ownership of the website name. REK was taken up, something like that. Can't quite remember, but there is a story as to why, because REK stands for Razor Edge Knives, but if you go on his website, it's REK Knives. So awesome little fixed blade. Well, I guess it's not little. It's 3 inches, the cutting length. But very subjective if you want to talk about the blade length overall. I really like this one. I would recommend checking it out if you get a chance. It's a little on the higher end, but Josh does a lot of other custom work such as DLC work. He reblades a lot of popular models. The PM2, the 940. I think he did one for the Shaman not too long ago. Always innovating, doing new stuff. He's known for having razor edge knives, and he really brings the angle down really low, so that way you're getting that slicing performance from his knives. you can see, I've already started to develop a patina on here. The steel on this one, if I recall, is this one's a MagnaCut, which is interesting because you can see the patina developing, and MagnaCut's supposed to be a highly stainless steel, very corrosion resistant. But yeah. Okay, this is a special one. This is the SPK Shark. The sheath is from Oak City Leather Supply, and which was nice because when I bought this knife during a drop, Alex recommends all the different sheath options, and I decided to go with Oak City Leather. This one was $125, right? $125. It's really well designed. It's very comfortable in hand. Like, there's no it's contoured, but there's no additional dimensions like a finger groove, or it's just very straight down, like curved right there, but it locks in your hand really well. Really nice small fixed blade. You can see the stains from cutting steak. It's an L-Max steel. It's cool about his knives. He has these. He has the lines through it, so you can hear that. Let's see if you can hear that. Yeah, that's my fingernail running down, up and down. His Lamia models also have that similar design on his blade. Came with the orange lanyard. Not typically a lanyard guy, but I have not. I've found it useful. I've been finding this to be very useful because I do use this as a scout carry. So I'll loop my belt through here. The belt loops on my jeans. Pop it out here. Sit in the back like this. So that way, as soon as I go back to try to reach it, as soon as I feel the lanyard, I know that I'm there. So it does help with extraction and deployment. However, when I do wear this, since the way the sheath is designed, it sits upright more, so it's not the most comfortable in your back as you're carrying it. It does. Let's say if I'm throw it on there and I go on a drive or I need to be in the car, it's not very comfortable. You do have to make sure it sits upright. So tighten up those belts so it doesn't fall below, because then you're just poking this at the back of your lower back. These are hard to come by as well. I haven't seen a drop on the Shark in a long time. And this is the Shark V2. So the original Shark dropped many years, longer. It's been a longer time since the first generation dropped. So this is like Gen 2. And I really like it though. I'm very excited. I was like, $125 steel. I mean, he makes it very clear a sheath is not included. And the reason why he doesn't include the sheath is because he wants to help support sheath makers, which I think is very honorable and it's awesome because that's helping support the community overall. But the Shark is an excellent option for a smaller fixed blade. Lots of belly on this thing, which I really like. Wider blades. It just helps with slicing, I think, at least from experience. But yeah, I would consider this a very simple design, but very elegant, and it's awesome. I love it. It's a natural micarta, natural canvas micarta, just to clarify. Very well done. No jimping needed, right? It really locks in your hand, and it's so. All right, moving on. So next we're closing in though, but towards the end I have a special one I'm gonna throw out there, because as you see, there's 10 American-made EDC fixed blades on this table, but I do have an additional one that I'm gonna throw in as a bonus. All right, so this is a TKell Accomplice. This is a collaboration between Eric Outer from Outer Limitless, and this is AEB-L for the steel. It's got a nickel bronze coating on the blade. I recently just did a first impressions video on this, so that shouldn't. If you scroll through a recent history of videos I've released, this will be there, or you can check it under the fixed blade playlist or the first impressions playlist. And this one has Gaivati. So in that first impressions video, I'm just gonna go and call myself out. I was calling this Grivati, Grivati for the finish. It's actually Givati, Givati. So there's no R. For some reason, when I saw this drop Gravati is what's stuck in my mind. So I am clarifying out, calling myself out for that mistake, but it is the Gravati or Givati. That's the finish for this. So it's like a purple camel, purple black camel. But this I was absolutely thrown by. The price on this one was let me just double check, $275 before shipping cost. There's a lot of weight to this, but it feels so substantial in hand once you get it in. And the different contouring that he's done on the scales really helps with locking it in, getting that extra feel for it as the meat in your hand melts into the handle. And so really awesome. I've used it already a few times. I've cut some steak with it. Plan to put it into a lot more use. I'm enamored with this knife. So, Tim, if you're watching this, which I doubt, if you ever do come across this, I plan on getting a lot more of your knives. Lots of amazing models. And so if this is one sample, an example of what to expect, I'm very excited to get more of his knives. And it does come with a sheath. It's exactly the way it's set up and the carry system. This is kind of unique. I like it because you can carry as a scout carry, but it's a clip-on style, right? So you can just, and this little, the way it's cantered right there, it allows you to slip over the belt. And this is nice because it can go over double lengths of the belt. So when I was talking about the Guardian 3.2 right here, I was saying how you can only get one layer of your belt looped through. This you can get both, so that's nice. So I sit it outside on my left belt loop, left belt loop, and it just sits there. So that way I use the belt loop to kind of provide some resistance as I'm extracting the knife out. And this is very comfortable. I was able to drive with it on like that and didn't really create any discomfort by any means. So very comfortable. I also like the fact that he provides a bit of jimping right here, so that way you can just push on it and it pops right open. It's a nice touch. Really like this one. I'm very excited to put it through more use, and also very excited to get more of his knives. All right, last on this particular table at the moment is the Winkler Knives Forest Edge Limited, and it's limited because this is battle wood for the scale, and it's limited in the sense that there wasn't much of it. So they do a limited release with certain scaled materials, and it's really cool. They got this tribal design that kind of replaces jimping, and it's very effective. And this one is, let me just confirm, 80 CRV2 for the steel, and it's coated, so to kind of give you, it's a matte finish coat on it, so it gives you that additional corrosion resistance protectant. And this is another one that I'm just blown away with. This was the last knife I bought at Blade Texas, possibly my favorite. Right? No offense to Bradford Guardian, I like that one a lot as well, but there's more depth to this in my opinion. It's just, it's gorgeous. And this is the sheath it came with, right? This is a leather sheath, and it's got this doubled up, it's got this double discrete carry concepts clip on it. Very cool. I've been using it for more of a belt carry, so I will loop my belt through here, and it's vertical carry. So it's kind of sitting like that. And the way the sheath is designed, it's got an additional lock to it. So if I put it in, I'm gonna put this up to my mic, so hopefully you can hear it better. I don't know if you heard that. Let me try that again. Yeah, so that's in a secondary locking design as part of the sheath. I will say though, so the initial draw takes a little more oomph. But I'd imagine, let's say if you're using this a lot and you gotta sheath it, unsheath it multiple times throughout your task, that you wouldn't need to insert it deep enough to get through the second locking portion. So I would just, put it in like that, and it'll be easier to draw out. And then when you're finally done using it, maybe snap it all the way in. Because even without the secondary retention point, it's still, right, it's not coming out by any means. So yeah, I really like this. I've been wanting getting a Winkler knife for a while now. This one was on the pricier side. This is $380, and that was the final price. When I was at Blade, Texas, I was buying certain knives that they gave you the table price, and then they charged tax on top of it. And so I appreciated that Winkler just incorporated all those costs into one, right? Like he said that too. He's like, I price this so it covers any potential taxes or whatever. So, you know, the price you see is what you pay, and rather than the price you see is not what you pay because now you have to pay tax. That was an example on the Chavez Integral I bought while I was out there. And same with the Bradford knives, they charge tax as well. So $380, Forest Edge Limited, beautiful knife. This one for me, what really captures me about Winkler knives is that for me they're very simplistic, elegant designs. Nothing fancy about it, meant to just be put to work. So very excited to have this in the collection. Even more excited to be able to put it to use. So I was actually waiting on this video before I started cutting steak with it. So I think I'm gonna have to use this today. All right, so the special feature I have, I don't know if I call it honorable mention, but I wanted to be able to create a top 10. But I was going through my knives and I couldn't exclude one. So really there's 11. LT Wright is the other American knife brand that I really like. This I actually bought for my daughter. This is the Daily. The model name is Daily. And it comes with a leather sheath. But one of the things, I don't carry this that often because it's a drop loop. So not fully drop loop, but it hangs, right? So your belt goes through here and it's dangling. But I really like his designs. He has designs that kind of remind me of the simplistic, elegant designs of a Winkler. Full tang design on this one. This is 3V steel. I've been putting this to use on steak. As you can see, that patina is strong on this one. Okay. I actually asked my daughter, hey, which scale color do you like? And she picked out this one. So this is for her, but I'm okay passing down a used knife to her. She's still young, so not at an age where I feel comfortable enough to have her use these or carry, let's say if we went out, did a camping trip or something. But so I've been keeping it in my collection for the time being, but this is hers. Very comfortable in hand, no nonsense, just a nice, basically a rounded handle, almost circular in a sense. And it fills the hand very nicely, a lot of control. You don't need jimping on this one. It's just for smaller fixed blades, the jimping I feel like is less necessary. But this one really, and it's very affordable in my opinion, because the LT Wright, this one, actually, this was $230. Yeah, $230 was cost. I got this from DLT Training. Right, $230 is before taxes, by the way. So it was definitely a little higher. But this is Damicarta, is how the scale is described. So the way I'm looking at it, it's Damascus process of micarta, right? Because you're layering different colors of micarta and then creating this Damascus resemblance of the design. Very cool though. I really like this knife as well. For me, I prefer belt, inside waistband carry, or scout carry, and this doesn't really fit the bill for either. And so I haven't carried these as much, but when I'm at home and I feel like cutting my steak with this knife, I've been doing that. So awesome knife, really like it. I just thought top 11 American made, best American made EDC fixed blades was a strange title. So I picked 10. However, these 11 knives are awesome knives, and I really think these are great American companies, American knife makers. And yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to do my best to drop some resources. I'll chapter everything else. So if you just want to jump to any particular model, feel free to do so. I'm assuming by the time you've gotten to the end of this video, me telling you that really doesn't make too much difference. But I'll put some resources. I typically try to add links for everything, but a lot of these are sold out. It's going to really depend. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop that so that way I can engage with you on that. But really appreciate you tuning in, and as always, stay frosty.